This morning on Today's Health, the doctor is in. You sent us your health questions, and we've got your answers now. Dr. Keri Peterson is an internist and contributor to Women's Health magazine. Dr. Keri, good to see you.
Good morning, Willie.
All right, let's go right to the viewers. Let's start with Rob in Tampa. He asks, I caught the flu on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm just recovering. Should I still get a flu shot, or is it too late?
He absolutely should still get a flu shot. Now, you may be thinking, I just had the flu, why do I still need to get the flu shot? But there are a lot of other circulating strains that he has to protect himself against, and it's not too late because the flu season peaks in January and February, so getting it now, you'll still be protected. And the good news is that what we're seeing go around, 90% of the currently circulating strains are in this year's vaccine.
We've heard that this flu season is worse than years past, perhaps, a particularly bad one. What else can people do to kind of prevent this from coming on?
Well, the most important thing is to wash your hands regularly, get your flu shot, and if you do have the flu, take protective measures by covering your mouth when you cough or you sneeze.
Okay, good. Meg in Columbia, Maryland, with our next question. I'm 32. I had my first baby 10 months ago. Ever since, I've started wheezing and coughing, specifically in the evenings. This happens nearly every evening. What could cause this, and what can I do?
Well, there are a lot of things that can cause cough and wheezing, but in this particular scenario, two things come to mind that are more likely. The first is that she may be suffering from indoor allergies that are causing an asthma-like reaction. There are a lot of environmental allergens, and where she spends her evenings, she may be getting exposed to things like dust, mold, pet dander, or plants, to name a few.
Is this a common thing for pregnant women?
It's not necessarily because of the pregnancy. It may just be that she's in her 30s. This is a time of life when you can develop allergies, or it may even be that her environment has changed since she's had the baby.
So maybe unrelated to the pregnancy. Our next topic is a big one. We got a ton of emails about migraines and what might be causing them. People ask about everything from drinking red wine to too much exercise. What are some of the facts and the myths about migraines?
Sure. Well, these are definitely triggers for migraines. Now, we know a migraine is likely caused by dilation of the blood vessels in the brain, and it releases chemicals in the vessels of the brain that cause pain. And for some people, there are a lot of factors that can trigger migraines. There are some we can control, such as things in your diet, including skipping meals, MSG, or alcohol. There are other things such as physical changes, be it stress, anxiety, or over-exercising, sleep pattern changes like oversleeping or undersleeping. These are things that we can control, and things we can't necessarily control are your menstrual cycle and things in the environment like smoke or perfumes. But the most important thing is that each person needs to identify what their triggers are so that they can potentially avoid them. And to do that, I recommend keeping a headache diary. And the easiest way to do that is actually if you have a smartphone. There's apps available, and my favorite is called My Migraine Triggers. It's just a really easy way to track your triggers, and it puts them in a chart or a graph that you can just show your doctor right at the visit.
Okay, cool. That's a good idea. Now, our research shows that whenever we talk about bowels, the ratings go through the roof. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this final question from Elizabeth in New York. She asks, what are the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome? How do I know if I have it?
Oh, irritable bowel is so common in women, and what it's caused by is a malfunction of the nerves that control the contraction of the intestines. So it either moves too fast or too slow, and you get abdominal cramping, bloating, pain, and gas for at least 3 days of the month for at least 3 months. And it's a clinical diagnosis. There's not necessarily tests to check for it. It's really based on your clinical history, which is usually diarrhea or constipation or an alternation between the two. And it's diagnosed by ruling out other things that cause these same symptoms, like celiac sprue or inflammatory bowel disease, just to name a few.
Best quick thing to do about it if you do have IBS is?
The most important thing is to take fiber, and if it depends if it's constipation, it's fiber and hydrating regularly. And if it's diarrhea, it's also fiber, but you can use antispasmodics as well.
All right, cool. Glad we had this little talk about bowels.
Yeah, me too. Great way to start the morning.
It is. Dr. Keri Peterson, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Good